One Show with Matt Baker.
And Alex Jones.
You won a very prestigious award at the Sundance Festival. Tell us why, then, you're so proud of this one.
Well, I took about a year and a half off from acting after working for 15 years straight. And I wanted to kind of reconstruct where I was in my career. And this was the first script that struck me in a very, obviously, intimate and personal way, having two gay brothers in my family. And the story centers around a young woman who gets sent to a Christian conversion therapy camp, which is where they try to basically use different forms of psychomanipulation to condition you to believe that you were born incorrectly and to avert you away from being gay. But even though this movie deals with the heavy, realistic ideas of being inside the camp, it focuses on the beauty of the interpersonal relationships of meeting other gay people for the first time and realizing that you're not alone. So it's a very special perspective, and being that our director, Desiree Akavan, is a bisexual Iranian-American woman, her perspective on the film, I think, was incredibly specific and special, and that's the reason why I really wanted to take on this piece.
And why do you think it's winning these awards? And actually, it does have quite an effect on you when you watch this. It is incredible. Obviously, those youngsters, they're teenagers going through this at a very difficult time in their life anyway, but why do you think it resonates so much?
Well, I think what's beautiful about it is it doesn't focus on the obstacles. It focuses on the silver lining of the interpersonal relationships. And it finds the comedic moments and the hypocrisy of it all. And how you can find your chosen family. A lot of people are pushed out of their families when they come out as gay, and they have to find their own pace in the world. And the beauty of this is it shows that there are people out there who will see you for who you really are, and they will love and accept you unconditionally. I think that's a very rare thing to see in film currently, and especially under the administration that we're under in America. It's probably one of the most important forms of activism that we can do, is push this film out for the masses.
Well, let's take a look at what happens on Cameron, your character's first day at class at gay conversion camp.
Welcome, Cameron. I'm Dr. Lydia Marsh. I'm the director of God's Promise.
Hi.
It's a pleasure to meet you. I know the adjustment can be difficult at first, but I have every faith you'll find yourself at home here soon. In the meantime, please don't hesitate to ask if you need anything.
Thank you.
You should consider yourself amongst family, Cameron.
You can call me Cam.
Cameron is already a masculine name. To abbreviate it to something even less feminine only exacerbates your gender confusion.
Well, Chloe, you mentioned the situation in the States at the moment. I mean, how widespread is this kind of thing?
So the stats are 700,000 people have currently been through conversion therapy in America.
Right.
57,000 is the base point of kids that will go through conversion therapy within the next 5 years. It's illegal in 14 states in America, but only for minors. So it's legal in every state in America to practice conversion therapy. And especially this form of conversion therapy, which is a quiet, insidious form of psychomanipulation. And a lot of the conversion therapy camps disguise themselves as different names of, you know, family counseling and stuff like that. But it is aversion therapy.
Yeah. Well, interestingly, over here last month, our Prime Minister, Theresa May, said that she was going to ban the practice, which is fantastic.
That's incredible.
Yeah, we're gonna actually bring in Vicky Beeching. Vicky, come and join us, if you will, because Vicky has been writing her life experiences down, and you've seen a few little clips of the movie itself. So, just as far as what's been resonating with you is.
Gosh, what an amazing film! I mean, first of all, fantastic job. It was actually quite emotional viewing for me because it just hit home so much. And I think my experience is that this actually goes on here in the UK in a way that we might not, as British viewers, assume. We may think this is a faraway thing happening in the US. But I grew up in the UK in a little town in Kent, and I had an exorcism at the age of 16 to try and kind of pray the gay away, as they say.
How did that come about then?
Well, it was at a camp. It wasn't quite like your camp. It wasn't a camp for gay kids. It was just a camp for Christian kids. But we had a preacher one night who was very charismatic and said, God can set you free from anything. And somebody stood up, a young person, and gave a testimony saying they used to be gay, they were prayed for at that same camp the year before, and now they were straight. And as a 16-year-old, like so earnest in my faith, you know, raised by my church to believe it was a sin, I thought, I'm going to go forward. So in front of 4,000 people, people were shouting at me for the demons of homosexuality to come out, and that was in Christian community here in England.
Lots of people will think, I suppose, that, you know, your catalyst for coming out was finding a relationship with somebody special and you thinking, OK, I'm ready, in a way, to risk leaving my faith in order to be with this person. But that actually wasn't the case, was it?
No, I really was very earnest and very devout, so I didn't actually have any relationships until I came out, and I didn't come out until the age of 35, which sitting next to you makes me feel quite old, because you're so accomplished and so young. But I mean, it took me till that age to really wrestle with my faith, because I am still a Christian, still very important to me, and actually my career ended up being in the church, in gospel music, which some of which I did in Nashville in California. And it's a huge industry out there, isn't it? And there's no way that you can be an evangelical gospel musician and gay. So, and
you had to turn your back then.
I did, and actually one part of the film that really struck me was about kind of gender presentation. So I did everything I could for 35 years to look as straight as possible. And since coming out, I finally let myself have the crazy haircut I always wanted. But it's things like that that the movie really touches on. And in my book, I try to talk about just how imprisoned you can feel in this prison of shame, not able to be yourself.
And Chloe, I mean, you've mentioned members of your family are gay as well, but how much research and how much chatting to the likes of Vicky did you do for this role?
Well, I felt it was pertinent in the research to meet survivors and actually talk to them about what their experiences were like. So I think what struck me, at least in my research, was the modernity of the issue. Everyone I was meeting was maybe 24, 25 years old. Right. They had been in for 5 or 6 years. And my biggest question was really that, which is what you just stated, is what was it like when you were there? Were you the driving force? Did you believe in it, or did you immediately think it was, you know, hypocrisy? And it was unanimous across everyone that I met that they were the ones that were driving the boat farther than anyone else. They were really sewing into it because that's what it is.
Isn't it the saddest part, isn't it? People wouldn't believe it, but if you really have that passion for God and you're taught that you are sinful, you seek it out.
It makes sense. I mean, they use fear against you in the sense that you want to. Of course, you want to go home and be okay.
Totally. You want the respect, don't you, I guess? I wanted the respect of my church, my family, my... and I actually sought out, there's different forms of conversion therapy. Obviously, there's the camps, there's the exorcisms, and there's also just counselling. And I had that throughout my whole 20s. I'm sure you heard about in your research. So they were trying to find out what made me gay. And they believed that everybody is born straight by God to design, you know, and something had happened. So I had 10 years of people, therapists who are Christians saying, let's try and find these assaults or abuse or something that happened that hadn't happened. And my passion really is that in the UK we'd realise this is happening now, and I'm working with the government as an equality campaigner now to try and put this to an end.
Well, hopefully, I mean, your film, Chloe, and the book, Vicky, will go a long way to helping young people who, you know, were in the same position as yourself.
Actually, Vicky's book about her experience, it's called Undivided, and it's out now. And
The Miseducation of Cameron Post is in cinemas. That's the film, by the way, on the 7th of September.